Hey, this is Lovecraft and Art. We're going to be watching some creepy TikToks tonight. So if you've been looking for a thrill, look no further because we're going to jump right in.
This celebrity said way too much about 9/11.
Do you believe that the government had anything to do with the attack of 9/11? Do you believe in a conspiracy in terms of the attack of 9/11?
No, but I do believe that it is the first time in history that fire has ever melted steel. I do believe that it defies physics for the World Trade Center Tower 7, Building 7, which collapsed in on itself. It is impossible for a building to fall the way it fell without explosives being involved. World Trade Center 7. World Trader 1 and 2 got hit by planes. 7, miraculously, the first time in history, steel was melted by fire. It is physically impossible.
And who do you think is responsible for that?
I have no idea, but to say that we don't know that it imploded and it was an implosion and a demolition is beyond ignorant. Look at the films, get a physics expert here from Yale, from Harvard, pick the school. It defies reason.
Get one.
Imagine if somebody could convince you of that, could prove it to you, Elizabeth.
If someone could sit here right now and prove that to me, I would.
Okay, we're going to call up Harvard and we're going to call up Yale. And we're going to ask somebody from physics to come and explain.
Bush went to Yale. How good could they be?
You know that a third tower fell on 9/11?
Hold up, what?
At approximately 5:20 p.m. on September 11, 2001, World Trade Center Building 7 collapsed in 6.5 seconds.
So we were told for 20 years that planes made the towers fall? But then there was a third building that fell? Because that doesn't sound like a conspiracy at all to me.
World Trade Center 7 collapsed because of fires fueled by office furnishings.
Honestly though, I'm more shocked that this wasn't talked about more than anything on 9/11. Mind blown though, still mind blown.
Down at the computer to actually turn the computer on. As soon as I pressed the button, boom. So at that particular time, based off what happened, I thought I had triggered a bomb. I was covered from my neck all the way down to my back in debris. My son was completely blown out of his stroller, and some of the floors had collapsed within, and people were trapped in between the floors. And I came out in what is believed to be the entrance or the place of initial impact. While I was coming out of the Pentagon, I didn't see any evidence of metal, airplane seats, luggage, nothing that would give me any indication that it was a plane that had hit the building. I did not have jet fuel over my body. My son didn't have jet fuel over his body. The people that I helped didn't have jet fuel on their body. So again, there was nothing on the inside that would give me any indication that there was a plane. And speaking with everyone, it was conclusive that no one else in the area where I was located had seen any parts of planes or luggage or baggage or anything of that nature. Yes, I believe it's something part of much more sinister. I mean, when you go out of your way to fabricate an official story, when obviously the evidence shows that the official story couldn't possibly be true, then yes, you should be brought to justice.
Wow.
That was one of the biggest days in world history, and it was the day that changed my life. I woke up, I saw the TV, I think I'm watching the movie Die Hard. All of a sudden, I'm thinking, wait a second. Flight 11 hit the World Trade Center that looks like an 11 side by side. They both have 110 stories. Let's see here, New York's the 11th state in the union, New York City 11 letters, all of this stuff, and I'm like, wait a second, what's going on here? Is this a coincidence? Because that's what someone with common sense would start thinking. Is this a coincidence? But see, I know history, and I've always studied history. You said you were into history too. When did the Great War end? The Great War, World War I, ended on 11/11 at exactly 11 o'clock.
President, are you aware of the reports of the plane crash in New York? Is there anything?
Nostradamus is crazy. He has made some crazy predictions like 9/11. His prediction says, in the year of the new century and 9 months, which is 2001, right? And 9 months, September.
Yeah.
September 11th. From the sky will come a great king of terror. This is a plane. He doesn't, you got to think he's from the 1600s, right? If he's visioning this in his head, he's not going to know what a plane is.
What is that?
Right.
You know?
The sky will burn at 45 degrees. If you look up right now, the longitude and latitude of New York City, it is 40.5 degrees north. In the city of York, there will be a great collapse. 2 twin brothers torn apart by chaos. I don't believe in psychics for the most part, right? But then I'm like, how do I explain that?
Professor Reynolds says 9/11 was an inside job, and he joins us here from New York. What do you know that I don't know and that the rest of America apparently doesn't know?
The government has never even tried to prove it's a OBL story. It's a fiction. You cannot prove a lie. There's your problem.
Well, did you see the videotape that the rest of us saw?
Sure, and I encourage everybody to do a frame-by-frame penetration of the South Tower, and what you will see is a fake, a cartoon display. Because an aluminum plane cannot go through a building like the South Tower was, as if it were thin air.
So you're saying,
right through.
You're suggesting that there's some kind of cartoon animation there. You're suggesting that the news media was a part.
You want the fucking truth. The day before 9/11, Donald Rumsfeld held a press conference where he discussed the issue of trillions of dollars that were unaccounted for. He mentioned that there were estimates of $2.3 trillion in transactions that couldn't be tracked. Coincidentally, the next day, the Pentagon was hit by a plane precisely in the area where accounting records were kept. This resulted in a significant explosion, damaging a substantial portion of the building. Rumsfeld's statement was indeed made, asserting that they couldn't trace $2.3 trillion, and this occurred right before the 9/11 attacks. While it may seem unreal, it did take place. Think about what you saw when you saw that Vice movie where Dick Cheney becomes the vice president and gets billions of dollars in no-bid contracts. Now think about what we just saw with Donald Rumsfeld saying they couldn't find $2.3 trillion. That money could build a whole other country.
This movie came out in 99, I think. At one moment, you see Neo's passport, and the expiration date of Neo's passport is September 11th, 2001, which is kind of weird. Like, it's just like, I was like, whoa, that's...
No way.
Morbid facts that you didn't know about 9/11, part 3. Michael Jackson had a meeting scheduled at the top of one of the Twin Towers on 9/11. But the night before, he was up until 3 a.m. chatting with his mom on the phone, and he ended up sleeping through the appointment. In 2002, a 15-year-old boy became inspired by the attacks on 9/11. He decided to steal an airplane and fly it into a building in Tampa, Florida. But it ended up damaging only one office room, and he was the only person that died. The company that owned the World Trade Center had scheduled a meeting on the 88th floor of the North Tower on the morning of 9/11. But they had to reschedule the night before because one person couldn't attend. The meeting was going to address what to do in the event of a terrorist attack. Just months before 9/11, the World Trade Center's lease was sold to Larry Silverstein. Larry then took out an insurance policy that happened to include terrorism in its coverage. After 9/11, he took the insurance company to court and argued that he should be paid double because there were 2 attacks. He ended up winning and was awarded $4.5 billion.
Did the 9/11 attacks happen as we were told? This question has sparked a controversial conspiracy theory. The 9/11 conspiracy theory claims that the U.S. government orchestrated the attacks on the World Trade Center and Pentagon. Supporters argue that the official explanation is a cover-up, citing controlled demolitions, lack of wreckage, and prior knowledge. They suggest that high-ranking officials planned the attacks for political and strategic purposes. However, extensive investigations have found no credible evidence to support these claims. While most experts dismiss these claims, the conspiracy theory persists, highlighting our tendency to seek alternative explanations for significant events. It raises questions about the complexities of tragedy, the power of mistrust, and our need for answers when faced with unsettling events.